Hi, welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Shea and I'm an American living in Bologna, Italy, studying Italian. Every December or around the end of the year, I feel like most of us get this rush of motivation to go into the new year strong with some new goal, and yet most people quit on whatever goal that is before January is even over, or sometimes before it even starts. And trust me, I've done this too. I've started so many years with these crazy goals, crazy study plans of how I'm really going to study Italian and follow this insane study plan, or maybe not even language learning related, like workout goals, healthy eating goals, whatever it may be. But in this video, I'm going to explain the reason people fail has nothing to do with discipline or using the wrong study materials, using the wrong app, whatever. Instead, I'm going to talk about common reasons that people typically fail with their language goals and also provide some solutions on how to avoid that. So let's jump in. Number one, people set identity goals and not actual plans. So for example, a lot of people say, I want to be fluent because they want to become someone, not because they know what they're aiming for. Fluent is a feeling, it's a vibe, it's not an actual plan. It's aspirational, not actionable, which is not a bad thing. It's good to have goals and aspirations. But January goals usually fail because they're built around this desired version of yourself. And when you don't reach that desired version immediately or somewhat quickly, that's why we fail. Because we want that to happen overnight, basically. So the solution is to shift from identity goals to behavior goals. Instead of, I want to be fluent, shift it to, I want to have 30 real conversations in the first 3 months of the year. Or instead of, I'm going to study every day, I will interact with the language twice a day. One active, one passive. It's a lot more concrete of a plan. And something active could be like using a language learning app for 5 to 10 minutes, writing a short journal entry, speaking out loud while doing something, making breakfast, doing laundry, cleaning your room, learning 3 phrases, reviewing vocab. Whereas passive activity could be listening to a podcast while you're cooking, having Italian YouTubers or videos playing in the background while you're doing something else, listening to music in your target language while you're on a walk or driving in the car. Basically things that don't feel like a lot of effort, but you're passively engaging with the language. Next, motivation usually peaks before the work begins. I totally get this point, and I feel like most of us do. The brain gets a dopamine hit from planning the goal. So I love planning. Like sometimes I love planning more than doing the actual activity. Whether it's language learning, whether it's planning my workout routine for the week, it causes you to kind of confuse excitement with commitment. So you think, oh, I'm so excited because I'm going to do all of this and this is going to be so great and I can't wait to see these results. Like this is going to be awesome. You're buying a ton of notebooks, downloading apps, watching these videos of polyglots who speak 10 languages. It feels like progress, but it's fake because you're not actually doing anything yet. You're just getting excited about the end result, but you haven't actually started taking any action. In January, your goals in January usually fail because December gave you that dopamine high and January is the crash. Don't worry, because this literally happens to everyone, I think. Everyone. So my solution is to build a frictionless routine that doesn't rely on motivation, because you won't have motivation every day. You just won't. So choose 2 places in your house or outside your house where you will do your language studying and associate these places with your language studying. So it could be your kitchen counter, it could be the desk in your room, it could be bed, because maybe in bed you watch YouTube videos on your laptop or your phone. Then I want you to create a quick 5-minute routine for those bad days where you have no motivation and you're like, I really don't want to study today. Choose something that you can do for 5 minutes that is more of a low brain power activity. Do not start January with a daily 1-hour routine. I am telling you now, you might think, oh no, I can do it. You will not be able to do it. I don't want to rain on your parade, but studying every day for 1 hour, you're going to burn out really fast. Start with something so simple that it's almost impossible that you won't be able to do it. Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not a huge fan of saying you're going to do something every single day, because the day when you don't do it, you immediately feel like a failure. Maybe don't use every single day, but if you are going to do a study session, just say at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes, especially if you're a beginner. And then you never know, you could end up doing more than that. But don't make the goal immediately 1 hour or 2 hours. Next, people confuse intensity with progress. If you start out with goals that are just way too ambitious, you will burn out so fast. So fast. For example, if you have a goal to study 90 minutes every day, nonstop, with a ton of different resources, that's super overwhelming. If you overcommit to challenges like studying this for 100 days or doing this for 100 days, I will not watch any more shows in English or consume any other media in English, listen to any English songs, no English from now on, only my target language. That's a huge trap. It's not going to happen. Ask yourself, what routine could I realistically maintain during the busiest part of my life? That is your real baseline. So think about when you have those super busy weeks at work, or maybe you have a ton of exams at school. Taking the busiest weeks of your life, what realistically could you fit into that schedule? And use that as your baseline. Because that way, if you have other weeks that aren't as crazy, you can always add on more. You don't have to just do the bare minimum. But those weeks when life gets in the way or things get crazy, you won't have all the time that you think you do now when you're planning your goals. So you want to make sure that you set a realistic schedule and then just build off from that baseline. And the next problem is that people don't build an environment, they just rely on willpower. Your January success is decided by what your environment looks like at the beginning of January when you're tired and hungry and that motivation is starting to wear off. So here are some examples of what I mean by not having this environment set. You have no saved content to read or watch, no space where you normally study, everything's kind of scattered. All your apps and resources online are kind of buried in different folders or tabs, or you don't have anything saved. And you have no default action or plan to go to when you feel lost or overwhelmed, like I mentioned in the previous points. So some solutions that actually work would be to create a language folder or box. I don't know what this is called on iPhone, like the little boxes where you can have all the apps related to language learning right there, organized on your phone. I also have bookmarks of websites and stuff that I use on my computer. And then I also have a document folder in my computer of different PDF resources that I use, like a grammar workbook that I use. Have a default 5-minute task. I mentioned this before. Choose some sort of activity that you can do just to feel like you did something that day when you don't have a lot of motivation, or that could kind of kickstart your interest, at least if you do that. If I don't want to do any sort of Italian, when I start watching a YouTube video from one of my favorite YouTubers, I'll do that. I'll watch some more. I'll watch some more. It's a pretty passive activity, but it's still really good to get that listening practice and, trying to make note of new words or phrases that they use. Also, save content now. So have your resources now, but again, not too many. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't save a bunch of stuff. Choose what you think is the best quality. So that way in January, you're not hunting for something to read or do or use. Put your notebook where you can see it, not in a drawer somewhere tucked away. And like I said, choose these areas of your house or maybe a cafe or a library where you want to do your study. Like designate those places as study spots. And diving into resources, another problem is that people don't pre-decide their path. One of the biggest issues that I ran into is decision fatigue, not necessarily laziness. When every day you have to decide, okay, what app should I use today? What book should I use? What video should I watch? Should I study this grammar concept or another one? And then by week 2, you're exhausted from choosing every single day. Simplify the path before January. You don't have to plan out the whole year. That's, again, too much, too ambitious. And you don't have to plan out every single thing every single day. Chill on the planning. I know I love it. Probably a lot of you love it, but we don't need to overplan because that's just wasting time. Simplify it. Choose one main resource. And I say this all the time. I have one grammar book that I use. One grammar book that has explanations and exercises because you need to actually practice what you've been learning. But choose one that you like the format, you like the exercises. One. I swear, just one. So many people buy like 5 different textbooks. You don't need that. And then you can also choose a backup resource. So this could be maybe like a YouTube channel. Like if you're learning Italian, Learn Italian with Lucrezia is a really good channel. If you are looking for maybe a teacher who can actually explain concepts to you. Another really good resource if you're learning Italian is Online Italian Club, because they have all free grammar explanations and exercises. And that way you can kind of follow a roadmap. They have all of the different grammar explanations listed out by level. So if you really are looking for a plan that's already made for you, you can follow that and it's free. You don't need to decide exactly what you're going to study every single day, but at least choose how many times you want to do active studying versus passive every week. And then plan 3 checkpoints for each of the first 3 months. So choose a date in January, February, and March to do a little check-in. Ask yourself how things are going, what needs to change. Just kind of reflect on the studying you have been doing and reevaluate your study plan and see if you need to change anything. And the final common problem is that people don't expect boredom or plateaus or bad weeks. Usually people interpret normal setbacks as signs they're not good at learning languages. When I was first studying at home alone in Los Angeles, I had so many times where I felt like I just wasn't understanding things. I couldn't move forward. I wasn't making any progress. And I guess I'm just not good at learning languages. And there were times where I barely studied. Like I have never ever been the person who has been able to study consistently every day or consistently even like every week. If I'm being honest, I mean, you guys watch my videos and you see how far I've come, but that didn't happen because I studied consistently every single week. There were times when I was doing self-study in Los Angeles where I think I went like a month or two without studying. It happens, you know, you take breaks, life gets in the way, things happen. And it's totally normal. You don't have to watch these videos of these people doing these challenges where they study every day and think, oh, I have to be like that because if I'm not, I'm a failure. That's not true. Everyone has different lives, different priorities, and it doesn't mean that you're bad. You definitely shouldn't compare yourself to other people. If you expect perfection, you will quit. I run into this trap all the time because I'm a perfectionist. Luckily, I haven't quit per se. I mean, here I am in Italy studying Italian, using Italian. I haven't quit. But if you expect these pitfalls and obstacles, you'll keep going. You'll get over them. So just know that they will happen. Pre-commit to forgiving yourself. Come up with a mantra right now. Say, for example, if you missed a few study days, if you missed a week, say to yourself, I don't start over, I continue. Something simple like that. Something you can say to yourself in hard times when you think, I'm such a failure, I should just quit. I don't start over, I continue. Like, I don't have to start from the beginning, I just keep moving forward. Come back to the routine without any sort of shame or guilt. Just keep going forward. So those are the most common reasons why people fail when learning a new language in the new year. But hopefully these solutions help prepare you for what to expect and help you actually succeed in studying a new language. Let me know in the comments what is one change that you will be making this January, or even what usually derails you. Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it and provide you some advice if you need it. And don't forget to subscribe if you are learning a new language in the new year or learning one right now and you are looking for some more tips. I post videos about my life here in Italy and also language learning and specifically Italian learning. I will see you all very soon. Bye.